is little meatballs. Is it? Well, Chili says she wanted to eat something with meat in it, so. Oh, noted. She probably does, yes, Wu said happily, after waiting for a few minutes their meal arrived on a shared plate. It has been a while since I ate uh, corn meatballs. Probably since before I initially became commander. This was many years ago, Wu said. Amber began to tear apart one of the meatballs from its side with the utensils provided. A long time ago. I hope it isn't too personal, but how long was that? Amber asked before taking a bite. Well, I turned 42 this year. That will be around 20 years ago, Wu said. 40, 42? You shouldn't be shouting this, dude. Shouldn't be shouting that. Amber exclaimed, almost choking on his first mouthful. He wasn't even prepared that Wu would drop her so casually. Wu wasn't merely distraught by Amber choking on his food. The man was convinced that Wu and him were around the same age. Now, I apologize for my reaction. It's just that you look so young for your age. I'm an idiot that gets surprised quite easily. Amber said as he was confessing something. Upon realizing that Amber was alright, Wu smiled. She was quite entertained by some of Amber's reactions. She found them quite humorous. When you become this skilled in magic, years become just a small fraction of what they were once before. Some body functions age as normal, while some others don't, Wu explained. Alright, welcome back to this. I had to cut it last time. Ran out of time. But we should be fine now, still. Alright, this is to be recording. Well, anyways, continuing. May I know how old are you, Mr. Amber? Wu asked. Who hadn't touched their food yet. Her eyes showed only interest in the man sitting right in next to her. Ah, Amber coughed a few times, putting down the fork. He was still a little winded by what just happened, and after a short sight, he answered. I am 34 years old. It doesn't look like it, does it? Life isn't so kind to people with so little magical potential like me, Amber said while looking down at his hands. They were in rough condition because of all the work he had done throughout his life. Well, for 34, I don't know, he looked older. So maybe that's why he's saying that. I like to believe I'm still young and that I could live another 100 years. Of course, that is impossible, Amber said before clenching his fist and showing a fake smile. Why were you feeling that, man? 100 seems too little. You should be aiming for 200, Wu said with a smile that showed her teeth, obviously being overly optimistic. I could teach you a bit of magic if you want, even if your magical potential is low. If you put your body and heart into it, you can learn beyond the basics, Wu said before looking up at Amber. Sorry, there I go again, invading other people's lives, Wu said. She clearly was holding back on her emotions, which was something really hard for her to do. I would love that, if you really are offering to extend my life, even if it's just a few years, Amber said with a smile. My wife was always the magic adept in the family. The longer I see Lua grow, the more convinced I become that I didn't contribute anything to the magical potential that he has, Amber said. Sorry. Maybe I could learn a magic spell or two. Can't promise anything though. Even when I was younger, I couldn't feed magic to the tiny magical circuits in my weapons to see if they work properly, Amber explained. Ah, well, that's a bit inconvenient. Well, I'm pretty sure they have something for you know, this type of people. Also, this no, I already, yeah. Thank you for still remembering. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they gotta have that. I mean, let's say, if you don't have electric powers, which I'm pretty sure is a thing, I'm pretty sure you have something to use power electric circuits or shit like that. I presume. Well, anyways. Wu sighed loudly. She was relieved that the man was understanding about it. Thank you. I think you are making it much easier for me to join back into society after living so many years in the countryside, Wu said. My apartment in the tower is so empty. It doesn't help much. The woman began eating from their shared plate. along with Amber. That sounds a bit like a fairy tale that I read, about a woman locked inside a tower. It was something that my son used to read out loud. I think she was very dramatic about it, Amber said with a smile. I don't remember the story exactly, but she was there because she decided to lock herself up, Amber finished. It does sound like me, who said, slightly rolling her eyes. I hope Xiao gave you a salary raise upon coming back, Amber joked. A raise? At this point in life, a raise isn't that important. I would rather just get a husband, Wu said, before drowning her words with the alcoholic beverage that was sitting on the table. Yeah, I mean, well, speaking of you, speaking her thoughts out loud, Amber looked at Wu, got a bit of an amused expression as she shook her drink. Go happily ever after could be right around the corner, you never know, Amber said. That makes me wonder, does Xiao allow marriages to live inside of the Foxtrot Tower? Amber asked. Xiao is very flexible. She totally believes that a happy work is an efficient one. Let's just say that me being the city commander gives me almost as much authority as Xiao, so I have a bit more freedom than anyone else in the tower. Who began explaining? Alright, well. However, now that I think about it, I think I will be the target of jokes from people close to me for abusing my power to have my husband live with me at the tower, Who explained. Well, I mean, if the tower have living quarters, I guess it's not like too crazy to have families in there. But well, what will be more safe? Because I mean, wouldn't the tower be a target for, the military coups attack, whatever you wanna call it, versus, living in a normal neighborhood? Well, I mean, in real life, depends, right? But usually people just live in whatever neighborhood, not in government facilities. Usually. Not saying it doesn't happen, but usually. Well, anyways. Amber just laughed at the thought. Lua arrived at that moment by the table. He appeared to be alone, with no signs of Vin. So much for the babysitting, Amber said as he saw Lua approach them. He finally took a sip beer, a sip of his beer, as if he needed to deal with Lua. I am back, said Lua, who had just noticed that Wu and Amber were in the middle of their meal. Now I can see that. Did you have fun with Uncle Vin? Amber asked. Wu placed his hand on top of Lua's head and petted him happily. Lua nodded a few times without losing any time. He looked inside his pocket and handed to Wu the handkerchief that Vin gave him. Here, Lua said to Wu. For me? Wu asked with a surprised expression. Lua just nodded once more. Wu smiled and grabbed the handkerchief. Thank you. I feel bad for using it though, Wu said. That's what it was made for. You will get sad if you don't, Lua said. Amber was kind of confused by this, mostly as to where he got the handkerchief from. It wasn't one that he had seen before, so he concluded he got it somewhere along the way. Where did you got that? Amber asked. I won at the Bazaar's games, Lua said with a deadpan expression. So you're just getting rid of your unwanted prizes? Amber said while crossing his arms. I want it back, Lua said. It was clear that he was up to something. Who didn't seem to care, though, as she started using it to clean her mouth. Whatever the boy had got himself into, she would happily play along. If she knew she would, she wouldn't be, but well, Where's Uncle Vin? Amber asked. He's back there. We're going to go play at the shooting gallery, Lua said with a bit of a smile. Well, you two have fun then. Just make sure to not bother Uncle Vin much, alright? Amber said Lua made a salute when receiving his father's command. Be careful with those guns. They might be fake, but they pack quite a punch, Wu said after leaning closely towards Lua. The boy nodded happily. She handed over the handkerchief to Lua, who quickly folded it and put it inside his pocket. I'll go now. Lua said. Amber and Us saw Lua quickly run into the crowd. How did you meet his mother? U asked, just as she saw Lua disappear into the crowd. I met her when I was working at the headquarters. She was a low-rank engineer, but she always dreamed of becoming an alchemist. Quite talented, Amber said. Her family supported us in every way, except when we started going out. It really became something problematic, but she was happy. Amber continued before releasing a chuckle. That's all that mattered. So after a few years, I took her with me. With their blessing, of course, Amber said with a smile. With a smile. I bet it was more romantic than it sounds, Wu said. They continued eating from the shared plate. We kept working in the headquarters, but as a real family, Amber said. It is very likely I had met her at some point then, Wu said. Sadly, I know of so many people that it would be hard to remember her, even if you told me her name, Wu concluded. Amber remained silent for a moment, looking at Wu. He finally looked up at the sky. Even if it was full of hardships, I will do it again, 1,000,000 times, Amber said. He drank what was left in his bottle in one large gulp. Wu looked at Amber for a few moments. She didn't really know what to respond to what he just said. She accompanied the man drinking what was left in her mug. They continued eating until their plate was empty. Ah, nice. After a few seconds of uncomfortable silence, moved her tail and rubbed it against Amber's. Damn! This was done by foxes to comfort one another. Yeah, I bet they do. I bet they do. Thank you. I don't have anyone to talk about. You know, feelings and that kind of stuff. I apologize for making this so personal. This was meant to be casual talk, Amber said with a pained smile. He didn't look in the direction of simply enjoying the contact. Simply enjoy the contact. It was me who started asking. Don't worry about it. That will only make two of us people that don't have anyone to talk with. I understand how you feel. Who said, a bit ashamed. Sounds kinda weird, right? I think you can only say that will make two of us without adding people. That will make two of us that don't have anyone to talk to. And that will find some, you can just remove people. Anyways, I apologize for taking your tail. I just didn't know what to say, Wu said, trying to explain herself. It doesn't really bother me. You're the first person that has come this close to me in all these years, Amber said with a light blush across his face. Alright. I miss hanging out with an adult. I just never imagined you will be Foxtro's commander. My social skills are quite rusty, but I can get them back in shape with your help if you want, Amber said before offering his hand to Wu. The woman looked at Amber quite surprised. She grabbed his hand happily. Yes, she exclaimed. Things are moving forward along quite fast. Well, anyways, Amber realized by now that quite a few people had noticed Wu's presence, mostly older Foxbees that remember Wu during her years as commander. Wu didn't seem to be bothered by it, probably because she was used to all of the attention. Well, I think we can say without off. She was used to all the attention. Maybe. No, is it okay for you to be this close to someone in public? I wouldn't want someone to misunderstand our relationship, Amber said. Who looked around herself. She caught a pair of foxbees looking in their direction before quickly looking away after they noticed Wu's gaze. I'm Shell's right hand, and this city's commander now. If someone has a problem with us, they should come and say it to my face, Wu said. The woman was clearly not afraid. If they are jealous because I'm hanging out with Mr. Amber, then bring it on, Wu said with a confident smile. Amber simply chuckled nervously. Shall we? Amber asked as he stood up. He left what they owed on the table and offered his hand to Wu. She happily accepted Amber's hand and got off her chair. Let me pay for this, Wu said. You get the You get the next one, Amber said, trying to convince her. Wu sighed a bit before smiling back at him. The pair left towards the west area of the shopping district, and before they realized, had already left the bazaar. I got it, Louis screamed as he got back to Bean, waving the handkerchief into the air. Don't do that, it's very suspicious. The kid. Did you make sure it was only her who touched it? Bean said as he followed the cloth with his eyes. Lua nodded triumphantly. Bean grabbed the cloth. Thank you, I owe you one, Bean said before pocketing the cloth. Are we going to the shooting gallery now? Lua asked quite excitedly. Bean wasn't so sure about fulfilling his promise, but after seeing how excited Lua was about the whole thing, he realized that he couldn't say no. That was only, alright. A very defeated Bean said. Yay, Lua screamed. As they made it there, Lua started asking all kinds of questions to Bean, mostly about how to hold a gun and what not to do. One that grabbed Bean's attention especially came up after a few questions. What kind of weapons does Miss U... What a sentence. What kind of weapon does Miss U use? Lua asked. I wonder if she still has them. She's an expert in the use of several types of weapons, but her favorite two are broadswords that were custom crafted for her, Bean answered. Broadswords? What is a broadsword? Lua asked as he got up on a short stone wall and started walking along, using his arms to keep his balance. It's an all-purpose kind of sword. Your hands get protected with the hilt, and they are double-edged swords. Very practical, but can sometimes be very heavy, Bean explained. Wu's pair has magical imbue and hold some very special properties. She called them Salmon and Stream. Quite fitting if you ask me. Bean finished. Those are some weird names, Lua said. Do you have a magical weapon? He asked. I have one. It was called Fane. A short knife. However, the person that forged it died a long time ago, Bean explained. Its imbuing was special, as it was made with a technique called facade imbuing. Usually when I see facade, I use facade, but it's like, no, it's facade. It's because it's a French word. Alright, facade imbuing, which replicates the magical arts of the person that forged it, as long as that person is alive. Once that person died, Fane just became a normal knife, Bean said. Well, that's quite a sort to make. I was thinking, not exactly a good idea, but I guess it's convenient for whoever made it, just in case it falls into the wrong hands, I guess. It's like, well, I'm dead, I cannot supervise this shit no more. Magical arts? Lua asked. For a moment he almost slipped off the stone wall, which prompted Bean to extend his arm to catch him. However, he managed to stay on the wall. Magical arts are skills that cannot be learned, and some very special people are born with them, Bean explained. They are not unique, as several of the same magical arts have been documented to exist in more than one person, a hidden magical arsenal that we do not know how to access yet, Bean explained. Do you mean that person for real? Lua said. They will reach the end of the wall, so he jumped down from it right next to Bean. Just once. He was a friend of my brother, Bean explained. You should keep it close. Don't go cheating on your knife with another favorite weapon, Lua said with a serious expression. Yeah, I just grab a whip instead. I'm not sure how effective it is to kill people, but boy, it does cause some damage. If it's a flame, like, like Simon Belmont, then yeah, right, but if it's just, a leather whip, then yeah, I don't think much killing is going to be done, but you're gonna mess them up real good. It was kind of confused by those words. We're going to get more. Oh, nice. Like I said, I'd really like seeing more art of this world. However, I think I have noticed that this time around, I am not seeing like character like custom portraits. I just noticed because I was trying to make a thumbnail to the first video, and it's like, oh yeah, we haven't seen one of those. But I guess they just decide to focus more on the backdrop this time around. Which, I mean, it's a two-person team, so you know they're going to make some compromises. Speaking of the two-person team, I see this one and see this one. I think usually how the creators just draw themselves, so you know. Neat. Anyways, so I think we can check this area. Oh, okay, see them. What's up with this dog? I don't understand. The warg? Is there something wrong with it? Have you ever seen a warg before? Have you? It's been in my bucket list, I suppose. Just some... It's just a chimera, just a dog with fangs and dog ears. You can see the prizes. If someone that is good at shooting will help me, I could win all of these prizes. Do you want them to go out of business? But you will have to hit all of them. You can hit them all. Can you hit them all? With my arm like this, I doubt it. Probably a skill issue. I can be your arm. Let's not. Alright, nice. Neat. Also, the game tracks how much time you have checked, so you know. You want to get some of those cheap bows, you're gonna have to make work. Well, continuing. They reached the shooting gallery a few moments later. It was a permanent installation next to one of the grain silos on the edge of the bazaar. There didn't seem to be many people playing at this time of the day. Alright. It seemed weird, but no, it's fine. Bing got close and placed a few empty crates on the floor, allowing Lua to reach the counter where several weapons replicas were lying. Yeah, several weapon replicas. After placing a few coins on the counter, Bing grabbed one of the smaller ones and handed it over to Lua, while the owner of the establishment handed over 2 dozen rubber bullets for them to load their weapons. He began explaining to the boy how to operate the rifle, since it was clearly the first time he had tried something like this. These are nothing like my dad's weapons. Why are they all painted black? Lua asked before taking the first shot that went way over the target located deep into the establishment. Lua, you cannot simply ask what color the weapons are. Alright, shut up. It's just a code to prevent it from rusting. These aren't actual weapons, so they are made of cheaper materials, Bean said before grabbing one himself. They are very light too, Lua said. Before Bean could say anything to Lua, someone walked past the pair from behind and grabbed their attention by speaking to them. Bean, we saw you with some guy at the bazaar. If you don't stop playing that, you might actually lose your chance, the man said before they left laughing. There, mind your own business, pal. Send them to the magical gulag they have here. Come on. The way you using clothes similar to the ones Bean was wearing. Bean looked over his shoulder, watching them leave as they spoke with each other energetically. The man simply frowned at them and didn't give them much importance. Lua could see, however, that he entered a very deep trance as he stared at the target on the other side of the stand. Lua watched him for a few moments, and then at the pair of men until they were out of sight. The guy they are talking about is my dad. Is that why they are bothering you? Lua asked. Ben didn't respond and simply used his only available hand to take aim and shoot. The rubber bullet hit the edge of the target just barely. The fact that he couldn't hold a weapon with both hands made it harder for him. You shouldn't worry, Uncle Bean. My dad and Misu are only friends. I'm not trouble. Lua said before taking another shot with his rifle, hitting close to where Bean did. Do you still like Misu? Lua asked. Is that why you want to protect her? Bean aimed once more, but when pulling the trigger, the bullet became stuck in the chamber. He began to try to unjam it. Well, I think I have only played one of these type of games once, and I swear that thing did not shoot at all. Jam to all hell. One night we'll never be together again, Bean said. Even if I did like her, she deserves someone better. Being said right before he tried to shoot again. This time, it was almost a bullseye. It sounds like you still like her, Lua said. That's probably why you don't like us, the boy said before shooting once more. The bullet finally hit somewhere inside the target. Bean didn't answer. I think we're good people, just like you. But you don't have a smile. But you don't have to smile if you don't want to. You say. It would be nice if you did. I think it will make me so happy to know that you are, Lua said. As I said, she likes when people smile, Lua said. Mitchell once more, this time it being a bullseye. I don't remember saying that I don't like you. If I didn't, I would have tried to arrest your father the day I met you. I would have launched an investigation to determine if he was actually doing something illegal, Vin said. He sounds honest about the whole doing things the right, though, Vin said before shooting again. Though watched Vin play as he hit bullseye 3 times in a row. The owner of the establishment appeared to be a bit annoyed about an official playing, since it would be considered cheating. I mean... if you can get it done, you can get it done. I think usually what they do is if you win a prize, it's only one prize per day or something like that. Because of course there's going to be people that are real good at this type of games. If they are not rigged. After a moment, the owner of the shooting gallery came back with their prize. He laid a huge plushie of another on top of the counter that was almost Lua's size. Same one. The boy grabbed the plushie immediately and blushed a bit. He started to slowly become aware that he had talked a bit more than what he should have. Thank you, Uncle Bean. It looks a bit like you. I'll call him Small Bean, Lua said while taking a second look at the plushie. I guess you could say that. You got a good taste for names, Bean simplified, Lua said before walking away. After saying thanks to the slightly annoyed shooting gallery owner, Lua jumped off the crates and followed Bean. It's good to not leave this world with some kind of lineage, Bean joked before sighing. Lua remained silent for a moment. He appeared to be deep in thought. I'll go visit Ru whenever I can at the tower. Even if I get arrested, I want to do my part in keeping her safe, Lua said. Wait, I will just get arrested, but that means I get to see her, right? He asked with a smile. Not quite sure about that one, Bean said with a bit of a smile. You're a kid. The last place you will end up is in jail. How about you go have breakfast with her? This morning she had her table invaded by people she didn't really want to talk to, Bean said. She probably will enjoy seeing you both every day, Bean said as they made their way to the other side of the bazaar. Lua thought for a moment. We can do that. Lua nodded once while hiding half his face behind the plushie. It's a giant plushie. Alright, thoughts so far? Alright, but I mean, been enjoying it. It's been light type of reading. Nothing too crazy. it's not the Walking Dead type of writing, at least not yet. You know, there's always someone dying. Someone always getting in trouble. Tension is always high. Now this is a light type of reading. Which makes me wonder, I mean, of course it will kind of defeat the purpose, but I think it will allow the multimedia use of the, you know, of the IP. But maybe you can also sell this as a book, you know, just light reading. Just, you know, decorated with with nice art and set pieces. And I think you have a nice book with light reading. I don't think it will like superside the game, like, or take over, but I think it can be done like that. Just saying, I mean, of course, maybe the only issue is that, you know, it's a chapter, then another chapter. But I'm pretty sure they can handle that. Maybe, I mean, the only reason I will see to wait is just to, or not do it yet, will be just, you know, wait until all of the the story is done. But I think it will be neat, just as an alternative to this. Alternative way to enjoy the story. Just a, just a book. And then you can do that thing of just having like multiple chapters and just have the, what do you call it, the spine? Yeah, the spine of the book, just, you know, make an art. And it will be neat. But anyways. Well, continue on. After carefully moving throughout the academy, Ika and Agnes reached the main hall and went up to the upper levels. They couldn't help but peek through the large hallway and that led to the stairway to Nave's office on their way there. Nave had become the academy's principal more than 30 years ago, having always seen as quite a strange and mysterious figure. It wasn't unknown among the pupils, academy personnel, and anyone that spent more than 2 minutes researching the man's origins that he was an ex-convict. Ooh. Yeah, but did he had a curriculum though? An unusual decision that raised a lot of eyebrows among the parents of Luke Pomo's students, but since nothing strange had happened in 3 decades, people didn't seem to care. Some people deserve a second chance, Xiao would say to every person that questioned the decision. The academy happened to be in Usu's government control, even though it sat within Xiao's administration. This meant that Xiao had very little power over the decisions regarding the academy. This didn't stop her from influencing a lot of Terra Magi to come to work for her once they finished their training there. Ika and Agnes stared towards the end of the hallway. They could barely see the stairs that led to the principal's office. It was so quiet that they could hear the winter's wind gently blowing outside. "Let's go," said Ika before she started walking to the other end of the hallway. Ooh. That's already so pretty. I mean, I really like the designs, alright? It's very colorful, it's very pretty. And I mean, as for myself, thinking of my own work, it uses colors that I may not normally use, but they make such a beautiful contrast between one to another. I mean, this type of what we call it, steelish blue type of deal. It's very nice, just especially with the dark contrast. You know, it's a dark room and only certain things are lit up. It's very nice looking. It's very nice looking. What I'm also trying to say is that if this were like, you know, some 3D environment, how would you retain the, you know, the original art direction? Because fucking Fortnite. In case you don't know, Fortnite sends like surveys to creators, and it's like, oh, which of these designs do you like more? And usually use both. And they have a track record of having some amazing like designs for characters, but the moment they turn them into models, I don't know what happens, but a lot of the intent gets lost, and it's like these are not the same characters at all. You can pretty much see that, oh yeah, it's the same quote unquote, but a lot of the design gets lost, which is a damn shame because the designer of the characters like designs them one way because of course, and then when they turn into 3D, they just remove a lot of like details and change a lot, which turns out looking completely different. So well, that is to say, this is very nice looking. I really like it, and I just wonder how this will look like in a 3D environment. Because what I like a lot about 3D is that you can pretty much explore everything. You know, look at everything close to it. And you know, I like the whimsical feeling of things, like things that you really don't see in real life. Because I mean, realistic games are very impressive, but personally, I really like more stylized games, especially when they let you like explore the nitty and gritty details of the world. Anyways, continue. After going upstairs a few more times, they reached the top of the academy, a very dark circular room with a large telescope in the middle. Well, I said I wanted to see more art of the world. we're not seeing a lot of character portraits like in the first chapter, but well, I mean, I like seeing the world. Maybe I mean when they are done with the game and the story, maybe they can just use the last chapter as a excuse just to revisit like the previous chapter and add more art to the well to the game. I would like to see that, but I mean it's their decision is their game, but I think I would like to see that because I think it will have a more lasting impression if you have like more character portraits. I mean I'm kind of getting my wish of more, or more like backgrounds because I really like them. But I think also the character portraits are very important. I mean, I know I'm saying things in a similar vein of having your gay candidate, but again, if I can just wish, if I can just ask them just to push a little the envelope for the product, I think it's going to have a very lasting impression. Anyways, there was no ceiling to this large room, as the tree's canopy was so dense that it could not allow any light to pass through. This glass allowed them to see through the branches of the tree and turn the blue sky into night. This was so the Astromagi could take classes at any time of the day. Oh, that's very nice. They moved inside after standing onto the entryway for a few seconds. It has been a while since I came up here. I always wait for you on the level under this one. I don't remember it being this pretty, Agnes said as he stared through the glass. Ah, we can appreciate this place more. The Astromagus? How exactly do you become an Astromagus? You watch the stars. As you stare at the sky, your orbs are permeated by the divine beings. Really? That sounds easy. I could try to become one. It also involves a lot of math and memorization. You need to learn how to calculate the distance to other planets and the position of every star in the sky. Never mind. Man gave up too quickly. Oh, really? Was that all? Okay, well. Ika made her way towards the telescope, walking over the floating stepping stones to reach the islet. Agnes started following her a moment later. I'm sorry, I'm going to make another pause regarding the backgrounds and backdrops. It's just that, as you have seen, like, I think since, I don't know, the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, going onwards, current gen, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, uh, games have focused a lot on hyper-realistic environments, and that's nice and all, but I feel like there has been no equivalent for, you know, more stylized um, games. Like, it, we will get those type of stylized game on 360, but for example, if you were to make like this scenography into a 3D environment for current gen consoles, I think a lot of people, a lot of current day artists will just miss the entire point of the original art style and just make something completely different to these environments, which will be a damn shame, honestly. And it is a damn shame. So you know, because I mean, I guess what you could call the current equivalent. Well, I think I need to explain this better. While you know, the while games being more realistic has become more of a trend, and you know they are becoming more realistic. I don't think there has been an equivalent part on the there has not been an equivalent part on the stylized side of games. And the only ones I see like pushing that type of envelope is just like Nintendo, but I mean they always focus on on the gameplay itself, not much of the graphics. But whatever they get stylized is pretty nice. But I mean, uh, Switch games looks pretty much the same as just the Wii U, so it's not that much of a envelope push. Hopefully, it changes whenever the Switch 2 drops or whatever they call it. But I don't know. I mean, I just want to see more stylized games. I mean, realistic. I think anyone can aim for that. But stylized, everyone has a different type of direction, and you know everything looks different. Because if I think about it, I'm not sure if I have seen like other type of games that would use this type of coloring and art style. Maybe they are, but clearly like, I may have not seen them, and I would like to see more. Well, anyways, Continuing. Some talks and extra classes were going to take place here next week, but after what happened, I'm not sure anymore if that will ever happen now, said Ika. She laid down on the seat designed for the telescope operator. The seat was a large cushion underneath the large telescope, which rotated along with it. Ika started to manipulate the controls, knowing exactly what she was doing. Agnes joined Ika by the telescope. He had never been that close to it, since only teachers or trained astromagic pupils were allowed to. You already graduated. Why would you want extra classes? Agnes said as he started at the body of the machine. There were many encrusted rocks on it, on its metallic surface, and the paint on the contraption changed color depending on what angle you were looking at it from. I'm sorry, another pause. But I think the last game I remember being this type of stylized, or trying to be stylized, was like the Darksiders series. The first game on 360, the second game. I think the second game was on 360 too, but it was more on the 360 Xbox One era. And I like that game, but unfortunately, since it was not exactly like a huge project, who made it? I know THQ published it, but well, whoever made it, it was not a big studio, so they reuse a lot of assets and rely a lot on recoloring, which is a damn shame. Because I mean, what they had originally on Darksiders looked really, really good. Well, continuing on, which is I'm sorry, but continue what I'm just saying. Darksiders was a Xbox 360 game. That was like more than 10 years ago. Well, anyways, now continuing. Ika sighed. My father always told me that you should always be learning. I promised him that I would eventually join him at the Grand Scenes. This whole thing came at the worst time possible. My response letter could have arrived at any moment now, Ika said with a frustrated tone of voice. If we get Scenes back because of all this, I'd be really pissed, said the girl who kept pushing buttons on the machine. Agnes squatted close to where Ika was laying. He tried to avoid the subject in order to not stress Ika any further. What are you doing? Agnes asked. Need some help? No, I'm almost done, Ika said as she pulled a small lever. This caused every single light coming from the bottom panel of the telescope to power down. Wow. Neat. Alright, I reset it. That is the only way to do this without shutting down the accumulator. Let's just hope that Galeto didn't get tired of waiting and left. I can only restart it once every hour, explained Mika, who got off the seat with Agnes' help. By the time she was on her feet, the telescope had completely shut down. The glass on the ceiling powered down as well, letting them see the branches above. Come on, said Ika as she stared at the glass above. The telescope began making a few sounds, and some of the lights on the bottom panel started blinking. After a few moments of silence, they could hear rustling among the branches. Galeto flew right through the center of the glass. Alright, I appreciate this type of effects, Look, I know maybe a part of whoever's I know a part of whoever's watching this doesn't like me making pauses to, talk about anything else or anything besides, reading. What I'm gonna do is my fucking channel. And I mean, last time they ever watched this, so I think this is really good that they add other elements to. What's the word I'm looking for? They add elements to make the visual novel more dynamic. Because I think I said this last time. It will be a good idea to use the visual novel elements to just give more life to the story, because if there's no more difference from me reading it off a book rather than just using the visual novel, then maybe you will want the book instead. But if you add elements that can only be done on a visual novel like this, then it adds a lot. Which I know is probably going to say, so why do you want a book version of this? I think it will be good for the developers, alright? I mean, just I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money, Black Long. Because I think they already have a story. It's already written, 2 chapters. And I mean, I think it will be just nice to also look forward to that. Like I said, maybe they want to wait until the whole story is done. But I mean, maybe it will be nice for them to look forward to having this type of having this series in a book. It can be done. Well, anyways. So that's how you sent him out, said Agnes as he realized what just happened. Yay! Ika exclaimed as she danced in place along with the very tired bird. Hey look, it's flying along. Nice. I think I also said this, but maybe I wish maybe the characters' protests were just a bit bigger, just to see them closer. But I mean, they probably just, well, first of all, they draw the entire guy, so you know, they want you to see the entire portrait. But I think it could make more dynamic the visual novel. Just, you know, maybe just have the characters close, or maybe zoom out depending on the situation. You know, just play with the portraits of it. That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm saying. If not, it's fine. I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing, but I think they could just add more dynamic elements to the visual novel to enrich it. Anyways, the spell within the accumulator must be disrupting the barrier whenever it resets, Agnes said as he stared at Ika and Galeto. That thing runs on a very strong anti-magic spell. I fear it could work, Ika said while she removed the delivery tool from Galeto's back. That is very smart of you. The hole is big enough to fit a person through. Maybe, Agnes said as he looked at the ceiling. Ugh. Okay, it's like, we can look again, but you know, just because the other element is back. I thought so too, but I didn't know if I should have told someone. I wanted to let Michi know first, Ika said. The telescope powered up completely a moment later. The glass revealed the starry sky once more. Galeto sat on Ika's head and began pulling on her hair every now and then. What a troublemaker. Do you think they told your mother? Agnes asked, who looked at the bird and then at Ika. At this point, I hope they told everyone, Ika said as she took the letter of the two. What did you even tell her? Agnes asked while he began to look through the letter with Ika. Not much, just that we were trapped, Ika said as she scanned through the letter. It appeared to be normal casual letter between the two, the girl's worried expression slowly turned into a happy one. They passed their final test, said Ika quite excited. Oh, right, Yukihara told me they were meant to get a final approval, Agnes said with a smile on his face. So they know each other. Michi, Ika moaned, happy but sad at the same time. This meant that they probably won't see each other in quite some time. Ika continued reading the letter in silence. We are writing this before we talk with Xiao, in case they prohibit us from sending anything back. Ika read near the end of the letter. My mother must know as well by now, Ika said. To be honest, Xiao probably knew long before your letter got to Michi, Agnes said. Ika folded the letter and put it back inside the delivery tube. We should leave now, before anyone realizes we are up here, Agnes suggested. I have to reply. Tonight. Let's come back here tomorrow, Ika said. Agnes simply nodded. Tell me, why me? Agnes asked the moment Ika was done closing the lid of the delivery tube. Ika was a bit confused with the question. Why you? What do you mean? Ika asked, looked very confused. You have a lot of friends. Why would you want me to help you with this? Agnes asked. Ika looked a bit hurt from hearing that. That should be obvious, you dum-dum, Ika said before Agnes could reply. Ika continued. I know I can trust you, probably as much as Michi, Ika said while getting a bit flustered. I was saying that. Agnes remained silent for a moment before smiling at her. That is probably the best thing you have said to me, girl, Agnes said. That feeling is mutual. We will figure out what is happening. You'll see, Agnes finished. Thank you, Agnes, Ika said to the man before, smiling. It took Agnes a few moments to realize they were not alone. He looked over Ika's shoulder to find a man standing on the other side of the telescope islet, staring at the boat. He better be friendly, but he seems to have 3 arms. Probably 4. It wasn't clear for how long he had been standing there, or how his presence had been completely overlooked. Agnes noticed right away that the man had an extra arm. The shocked expression of Agnes didn't cause a reaction from the man, who was simply standing there, as if waiting for them to make their move. The reaction from Agnes informed Mika that something wasn't right. She looked over her shoulder, just to feel her entire body go numb for a moment. The man had already activated a spell on Mika. The moment her gaze reached the man, she fainted. Agnes managed to grab Ika as she was falling, preventing her from hitting her head. Galeto quickly flew on top of the telescope and began screeching towards their attacker. "What did you do?" Agnes yelled at the man as he quickly checked on Ika's vitals. She was breathing, barely. The man appeared to be surprised that Agnes was somehow unaffected by his spell. He revealed his hand, a ring shining brightly on one finger. A prince's rung was encrusted on top of the ring. It took a moment for the prince to change color. Before the man could use the ring of Agnes, he dashed towards the entrance. Even when carrying Ika on his back, his acceleration speed was the fastest among any creature that walked on 2 feet on this planet. In just 2 seconds, Agnes was already leaving the telescope room with Galeto following him. A moment later, the man stared at the entrance before his attention focused on the ceiling glass of the telescope. The man removed his ring and placed it inside his sleeve. There were 2 dozen rings hanging from inside of it. Man, get out of here, Lord of the Rings! Shut up! As he was running through the corridors of the academy, Agnes tried to wake up Ika. "Hey Ika, wake up!" Agnes shouted. He wasn't sure what kind of spell had been placed on her. He was worried that she might be seriously hurt, judging by how she was breathing. Agnes concluded that she probably was robbed of all energy within her body. Character portraits. Agnes looked over his shoulder at Ika's face, wondering if she was in pain. What Agnes found was something that surprised him, but at the same time, not that much. A pair of small horns were sticking out of Ika's skull, as well as a pair of wings and a tail, which were poking out of her back. The wings had ripped through her clothes. Agnes was so distracted that he almost crashed against one of the walls of the academy. Once he placed his attention back to where he was running, he smiled. "Well, they're vampires occupy something like that." Like I said, the art book of the first chapter, because the second chapter doesn't have a book. They didn't say what type of species like she is or her mother is, but it's like, well, they probably are like, vampires, succubi, or demons, or somewhere on the lines. Guess we'll know later. Little by little, the large crowds of the bazaar were replaced with much smaller groups of people. The day's festivities were coming to an end. Nice. One Amber made their way to the bazaar and into the bridge that led to it. She was suddenly reminded of what happened over that same bridge a few days earlier. They kept moving through the streets of the city while they talked. Amber knew exactly where to take Ku. It was starting to get late, and the magical lampposts had begun to show their flames within. Ooh, shut up! Alright. Yeah, I mean, very nice. I mean, I gotta say, did they really did they really took what I said about just, seeing more of the world? Well, if they did, thank you. But more importantly, more than just me or whatever, it's very important to the visual novel itself. Because like I said, it has a very beautiful, whimsical world. And, the artist clearly is very talented. So, they can get, like, the team can get this type of great backgrounds done. So, I like seeing the world. I like seeing it. And the art is pretty good too, so it does two things. One, we get to see more of the world. Two, the art is gorgeous, so you know we get to see more of the art, which is gorgeous. So yeah, I mean, nice. Want to see more? and we got one more character portrait. What would you call it? Because I mean, I will call these character portraits, alright? But full screen character portraits, we only have gotten one. But again, I mean, I'm pretty sure they compromise to just show more of the world, which I like. So hopefully they can do, maybe later on, like I said, a remaster of a repolish to add more arts between scenes, or maybe make them more dynamic. I mean, it doesn't have to be like move every time you click something, but maybe just once every once in a while. It's already going to be an hour, but I'm going to continue and then I see how I stitch this together. I don't know, maybe I should save. No, I'm going to save, not a date. Alright, I'm going to save, and well, I'll see how I stitch this together. If you're seeing this, then, well, if you're hearing this, well, thank you so much for watching. Guess I'll see you when I see everyone. Take care, remember to stay safe. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, and well, I have been enjoying, alright? It's very cozy to look at. Maybe we can get the backdrops or wallpapers or something. That would be pretty neat. I think you can do that, right? I mean, like at least on Steam as part of the additional. Well, I don't know what you call it, but Steam allows the game to give portraits, backgrounds, icons to the user, so maybe they can see if they can put a bit on that end. So I mean, and maybe you can get the backgrounds because they're just too good. I will have them truly. Alright, well, we're gonna call it quits here. So guess I'll see you later. I'm looking forward to it. See you.